Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Before we go to the editorial analysis, let us have a look at the enrichment part. Today you're going to learn words like escalation, mode, deficit, convoy, abeyance, and some more words. You're going to learn about 10 to 12 words. Besides these words, you're going to work on practice questions based on exam topics. Today, you're going to work on error location. You're going to work on a few new patterns. Now, let us go to the editorial and see what is there to learn from today's editorial. How does it start? Needless escalation. There's one important word over here, escalation. You all must be knowing escalators. When you go to a mall, you go to the airport, you come across escalators. But escalation means a rapid increase or a rise. Is video on? Please answer. So, needless, unwanted, not required. This is all about farmers' protest, what happened in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So, needless escalation. Escalation means, in this context, rapid increase related to tensions, violence, problems, all these aspects. So, what is the main idea of the editorial? Violence in Lakhimpur Kheri will increase trust deficit between farmers and government. There's one word, escalation, already have given the meaning, sudden increase or rapid increase. In this context, increase of tensions or the problems and deficit. Usually this word goes with budget. We say deficit budget means what? A shortfall or loss and is opposite of a surplus. At the time of the budget, imagine 100 crores required but we have only 80 crores. There's a deficit of 20 crores. So usually it is a deficit budget, a typical combination. But in this context, it talks about trust deficit. Means what? The trust between the farmers and the government, that is, the deficit will be increased. So it's the main idea of the editorial on the negative side, in the sense something negative, not positive. And because of this unnecessary, unwanted escalation, the trust deficit between farmers and government is going to increase or will increase. This is the main idea of the editorial. Let us go to the background information. The deaths of 8 people, four of whom were mowed down by a vehicle that was part of the convoy of Union Minister of State for Home Affairs and BJP MP Ajay Kumar Mishra in Lakhimpur Kheri in north central Uttar Pradesh, marks an escalation of violence in a movement that has tried to remain peaceful. So this particular incident, it marks an escalation. Again, the same word has been used. Escalation means what? Sudden increase, a rapid increase. In this context, it is related to violence, needless escalation of violence or problems. So this particular incident where the deaths of 8 people, four of whom were mowed down. This word goes with gardening. Actually, it means cut the grass. In this context, to cause to fall in a violent way. So, mowed down by a vehicle that was part of the convoy. There's one word convoy. Usually, when a minister goes, with the minister, you see about 5 or 6 vehicles, sometimes 10 vehicles in front and behind. The whole thing is called convoy. The entire, all the vehicles together, the security convoy, was part of the convoy of Union Minister of State for Home Affairs and BJP MP Ajay Kumar Mishra. And what happened? So many people got killed. In Lakhimpur Kheri, north central Uttar Pradesh, this particular incident marks an escalation of violence in a movement, farmers' movement, that has tried to remain peaceful. So far, it has been peaceful, but now it has taken a different direction. While the agitators, those who protest, while the agitators and the BJP have traded charges on who is responsible, any incident like this, obviously, government says farmers are responsible, or farmers say government is responsible? Here, the BJP MP. While the agitators and the BJP have traded charges, not government, the BJP party. While the agitators and the BJP have traded charges on who is responsible, means what? Blaming each other. The incident has also worsened chances of a rapprochement between the farmers protesting against farm laws introduced last year and the union government. There is one important word over here: rapprochement means what? Establishment or resumption of harmonious relations. Already relations got spoiled, and you try to establish harmonious relations. Harmonious means a unity. Harmony means unity without any discord, without any disturbance. So while the agitators and the BJP have traded charges on who is responsible, the incident, what is the impact of this incident? The incident has also worsened chances of rapprochement. The chances worsened means what? From bad to worse, situation has become completely negative. Also worsened chances of a rapprochement between the farmers protesting against farm laws introduced last year and the union government. Because of this particular incident, the chances for harmonious relations between farmers and government, the chances have got worsened. There has been little headway since January this year. There is one important word: headway means what? To make progress. There has been little headway. Again, grammar point of view. Already you have learned little, almost nothing, hardly anything. It has a negative connotation. A little, at least some. The little, whatever is there, or something specific. Here, there has been little headway, means no headway, no progress since January this year, when the government agreed to a few demands and also promised to keep the farm laws in abeyance, and after the Supreme Court stayed their implementation. The farm laws, the main bone of contention or apple of discord, and it talks about that the status of the farm laws. There has been little headway, means no headway, no progress, since January this year, when the government agreed to a few demands. In the month of January, the government agreed to a few demands and also promised to keep the farm laws in abeyance. This is an important word. Means what? A state of temporary disuse or suspension. You suspend something for a short period temporarily, that is known as abeyance. To keep in abeyance, it takes a verb, keep. Always remember the combination. To keep the farm laws in abeyance, and after the Supreme Court stayed the implementation. Here, Supreme Court came into the picture, it stayed the implementation of the farm laws. But the distrust between the unions representing the agitators, that means the farmers, and the government has remained high. The main idea is about trust and distrust. But the distrust between the unions representing the agitators and the government has remained high, with the farmers refusing to budge from their maximalist position, seeking a repeal of the three laws passed last year. So this talks about distrust has remained high between the farmers and the government. With the farmers, why? What could be the reason? With the farmers refusing to budge, already I've got the word budge means what? To change your stand or to change a little, to be flexible. But farmers refusing to budge from their maximalist position, seeking, what do the farmers want? Seek means to search for something, to look for something. Position seeking a repeal. This is a legal term. Repeal means what? A revoke or annul a law or act of parliament. So it is like cancel. Repeal of the three laws passed last year. What are the three laws? The Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act, and the Essential Commodities Amendment Act. All the three are the main issues. The farmers are also willing to continue the protest indefinitely. They have been protesting for quite some time, and now they are willing to continue the protest indefinitely. Not definitely, indefinitely means no fixed date. The farmers are also willing to continue the protest indefinitely, with its intensity increasing after the harvest season, even as the methods have come to the unfavorable notice of Supreme Court judges. Supreme Court has not approved or appreciated the methods resorted to by the farmers. So, with its intensity increasing after the harvest season, even as their methods have come to the unfavorable notice of Supreme Court judges. So it talks about the stand taken by the farmers. They're willing to continue the protest indefinitely, and the intensity increasing after the harvest season. And at the same time, their methods have come to the unfavorable notice, means not appreciated, not approved, of Supreme Court judges. A court appointed committee to facilitate dialogue with the farmers submitted its report on the laws in March, but it is yet to be made public. Now, the court appointed a committee for what purpose? To facilitate dialogue with the farmers, submitted its report. The committee submitted its report on the laws, the three laws, in March, but it is yet to be made public. The details of that particular report, no one knows. They haven't been made public. The experience of the economic reforms since 1991 has shown that rushing them through without political consensus, even if they have merits, by ignoring crucial stakeholders, creates severe discontent. This sentence talks about, based on the experience of the economic reform since 1991, what are the lessons to be learned? Some of the reforms could be positive, but if they don't involve all the stakeholders and if there's no political consensus, that results in severe discontent, unhappiness. The sentence talks about that. In this context, stakeholders means the farmers. The experience of the economic reform since 1991 has shown, what has it shown? That rushing them through without political consensus, the government has to take into consideration the opposition parties. There should be a dialogue, there should be deliberations, and after that, there is, if at all there is consensus, they try to implement. That does not result in discontent. And also, even if they have merits, on the one hand, let us say they have merits, but if they don't involve the opposition parties, if there's no political consensus, it is going to make a negative impact. And also by ignoring crucial stakeholders. In this context, the crucial stakeholders, the farmers, and all this creates severe discontent, unhappiness. Farming in much of India has largely been dependent upon state subsidies. Now, this talks about farming, agriculture, the background information. Farming in much of India has largely been dependent on state subsidies, procurement, and support pricing. And any sudden change in these inputs may jolt the sector, which has been prone to crisis in the last few decades, even if the government claims that liberalizing the farm sector will enhance agricultural incomes. The government says liberalizing the farm sector will enhance agricultural incomes. It is on a positive thing, but farming in much of India has largely been dependent on state subsidies. One, procurement. Procure means to obtain and support pricing, and any sudden change in these inputs may jolt. Jolt means push or shake abruptly. Abruptly means suddenly the sector. All of a sudden, they try to change certain things. The three important factors like state subsidies, procurement, and support pricing, it is likely to jolt the sector. Jolt means shake or push violently and abruptly, which has been prone to this particular sector, agriculture, farming, prone to means to experience, likely to experience crisis, singular, crisis, plural, in the last few decades. Even if the government claims that liberalizing the farm sector will enhance agricultural incomes. So, on the one hand, it talks about what the government claims. The government claims something positive, but it says, on the other hand, it is going to jolt the sector. And this sector is prone to crisis. Various factors could be the economic factors, could be the political factors, could be the natural factors, of late, the natural factors. It is true that the protesting farmer unions are concentrated in Punjab, Haryana, and Western UP, where the involvement of the state in agricultural procurement, awareness of minimum support prices, and the presence of mandis is more robust. Already I've got the word robust many a time. What does it mean? Very strong. Here it talks about where the protesting farmers, where are they concentrated? It is true that the protesting farmer unions are concentrated in three states, one Punjab, the other Haryana, and Western UP, where the involvement of the state in agricultural procurement, awareness of minimum support prices, and the presence of mandis is more robust, means very strong. But it is also true that institutional redress mechanisms to take into account farmers' concerns have not been put in place. At the same time, something on the positive in those three places, very robust or very strong, but contrasting information. It is also true that institutional redress means a remedy. Institutional remedy means a solution. Institutional solutions are the mechanisms to provide solutions to take into account farmers' concerns have not been put in place. They're not in place, means they're not trying to do something about that. After all, the laws were passed without sufficient deliberation through parliamentary committees and public hearings, even as the bills were rushed by voice votes in the upper house of parliament. Again, it talks about lack of consensus and without sufficient deliberation. Deliberation, an important word. What does it mean? Long and careful consideration or discussion. Here, no discussions, no consensus, and the same idea is being reiterated. After all, the laws were passed without sufficient deliberation through parliamentary committees and public hearings, even as the bills were rushed by voice votes in upper house of parliament. This is no doubt is a reason for lingering trust deficit. Again, the editorial comes to the main idea. What is it? Trust deficit. And there's no doubt regarding one thing. What is it? This is a reason. Lack of deliberation, lack of consensus, and not involving the stakeholders. The reasons for the lingering. Lingering means existing. Linger, exist, last. Trust deficit. The whole problem is trust deficit. And this particular incident, what happened in the state of Uttar Pradesh, it is going to increase the trust deficit. That is the main idea of the editorial. And also these various factors, how does the editorial end? This, no doubt, is a reason for lingering trust deficit. The UP government must, how does it end? The UP government must impartially investigate the incident in Lakhimpur Kheri, but it is also imperative for the BJP led union government to restore mechanisms of procedural democracy to bridge the trust deficit. There is trust deficit, and something has to be done to bridge the trust deficit, to remove the gap. One, the UP government must impartially investigate the incident in Lakhimpur Kheri, but it is also important for the BJP-led union government to restore mechanisms of procedural democracy to bridge the trust deficit. Restarting talks with the unions will be a good beginning. So where to start? Where to begin? Restarting talks with the unions representing the farmers will be a good beginning. So it ends on that particular note. What are the questions you can think of based on this editorial? What is this editorial about? What marks an escalation of violence in a movement that has tried to remain peaceful? So far, it has been peaceful. Now, all of a sudden, escalation of violence. And what marks an escalation? You have to answer based on the key words. In the context of the editorial, what has remained high? You have to navigate, not easy. In the context of the editorial, what creates severe discontent? Important words, discontent, and what creates severe discontent? Again, you have to navigate, locate. Only then you can answer. What has not been put in place? Something hasn't been put in place. What is that? You have to answer based on these words. Now let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. But here you have to, the first 4 or 5 questions related to uh, scrambled sentences. You have 5 parts and you have to get the correct order. You need to spend some time. Don't be hasty. Look at all the parts and try to get the correct order. But take elimination approach, then 1 second you can get the correct order. Should not be a problem. Yes, consensus agreement. Linger, last for a long time. Yes, good morning. Please go to the first one. What is the correct order? No one has responded. Yes. That's right. Here, you should be able to make out discontent over the new farm laws. When you look at all the parts, you should be damn sure it begins with the C. How many options are there with C? Only one option, that is the answer. But still you cross check. How does it go? Discontent over the new farm laws is a result of sidestepping what? Debate and discussion in parliament. Answer is E. Only one option begins with C, that is the answer. You can save your time. This is a bit difficult, you got to read carefully. 2D, what is the reason? DCABE, let us check that one. Here, the outcomes we are expecting, I don't think so. Let us start with E. Here, how many options begin with E? Only one option. It is crucial to define the outcomes we are expecting from population level vaccination plans for COVID 19. Answer should be C. It is crucial to define what the outcomes we are expecting from, again, what? Population level vaccination plans for COVID 19. Answer is C is the answer. EDCAB. That's right. This is rather easy. Should not be that difficult. E. Here, World Health Organization must work alongside China in quickly uncovering the origins of virus. Here you should be able to make out alongside China in quickly uncovering CE. That is one clue for you. And also here there's nothing wrong with ABC. World Health Organization must work alongside China in quickly, then E should come, uncovering what the origins of the virus. Answer is E. Fourth one is also easy, should not be a problem. 4A, very good. Who is that? Yes. Here, only information bearing a nexus means connection. Only information bearing a nexus to public activity should be available to the public. D, E, A, B, C. Answer is the first option. No, no, first option. 4, A is the answer, not B. Here, bearing nexus to only information, bearing a nexus to only information, no, I don't think it is right. It should be A, not B. Here, there are 4 words: tracks, abroad, overseas, diaspora. Whether you can change them or not, interchange, you have to decide, and accordingly, you have to choose the correct option. Go to the next set of questions. Nexus means a connection, the link, the connection between two different organizations, the nexus between politicians and someone else, means a connection between. YAD, stopped in its overseas. No, no. Pritham says 1E, no interchange possible. Nothing wrong with. The central government is unable to provide the funds while Kerala has been stopped in its tracks. This is an idiomatic expression. Stopped in its tracks means initially, at the outset, stopped. Stopped in its tracks from seeking resources from abroad. Seeking resources from abroad. Nothing wrong. Either from the Kerala diaspora, those who got settled abroad, we use the word diaspora, or from friendly overseas governments. No arrangement required, no interchange possible, not required, in fact. Perpetrator, the one who has committed crime. Go to the second one. Please mention the question number. Second one also, no interchange possible, no need to touch. Answer is E. Immediately the sympathies of the police and magistrates, some sections of the media, and public opinion swing towards the perpetrator, not the victim. YAC. Immediately the sympathies of the public opinion, magistrate, some section, no, no. It should be police, magistrates, some sections of the media, and public opinion. Answer is no interchange possible. It is imperative that there be course corrections. Otherwise, the exercise runs the risk of fueling a parallel movement against the state by those being victimized now. Third one also, yes, you're right. First one, Yashasvi. E. Let others also respond. Even here, no interchange is possible. It is imperative, it is important that there be course corrections. Otherwise, the exercise, nothing wrong with this, runs the risk of fueling a parallel movement. You cannot touch that expression against the state by those being victimized now. Being victimized. All these are standard expressions. You don't have to touch. Mind you, guys, all these are from previous year's papers, actual questions. The tsunami of 2004 and the threat of piracy in the Indian Ocean provided India an opportunity to test its new posture. Everybody was grateful, but it made no difference to India's claim to permanent membership. Huh. Answer is not E, A. No interchange possible. Where is E? A, D. No, an opportunity. You cannot change B, A, B. You cannot A, D. Was threat of piracy. To threat of piracy membership. Not correct. No, 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 no. Answer is no interchange possible. No change again. Huh. Now you go to the last one. See, sometimes what happens, four questions, no interchange, no error. It is possible. This is from one of the papers, previous years' papers. Threat of piracy, yes. That provided the opportunity. Tsunami, threat of piracy. Exactly, that is the reason why they have given. That is the point I'm trying to, that's what I've been trying to tell. What happens continuously, four questions, no error, no interchange, then you get a doubt whether you're reading properly or not, and you may choose the wrong option. No, no, fifth one, there is a change. No, here, let us take CD. The government has tampered, you cannot touch grammatically, no problem, with institution by appointing its own people to positions of authority, no problem, and by using the police has to come here, income tax authorities, the Central Bureau of Investigation, and the Enforcement Directorate as bulldozers to flatten out any site of position. So here CD is possible. Enforcement Directorate, police. Using the police first, then all these income tax authorities, the Central Bureau of Investigation, and the Enforcement Directorate as bulldozers to flatten out any site of opposition. The last three, I think three or four, I'm not quite sure, they go with error location. The rate on which we are accumulating information is not commensurate. That's an important word. It means a match, not commensurate with the rate at which our awareness is growing. Where is the error? All the five correct. Very good. Fifth one also. Fifth one is difficult. The last one is difficult. Four, you don't have to touch. Yes, here the rate on which is not correct. It should be the rate at which. The rate at. The rate at which we are accumulating information is not commensurate with the rate at which already there's a clue for you. Same expression has been used in the same sentence, at which. So answer is the first part is not correct. If one wants pearls, one has to dive deep beneath the sea or be content with pebbles on the shore. First part, rate at which. The first part, there is a problem. Go to the second question. Please go to the second question. Excuse me. Pearl, if one wants pearls, nothing wrong with that. Perfect. Excuse me. One has to dive deep. Nothing wrong with that. Here, there's nothing wrong with the first part, nothing wrong with the second part. If one wants pearls, one has to dive deep into the sea, not beneath. Deep into the sea. Deep into the sea. Yes, very good. Yashwant has got it right. Dive deep into the sea, not beneath the sea. Otherwise, no error. There is an error in the third part. Third part is not correct. This is the way to dissolving of all differences between individuals, communities, and faiths. This is an easy one, should not be a problem. Yes, Himashri, beneath the sea error. That's right. That is in the third part. Please go to the next question. This is the way to dissolving of all differences between individuals, communities, and faiths. Will you say to dissolve or dissolving off? To dissolve here, to dissolve. This is a way to dissolve all differences between individuals, communities, and faiths. To dissolve. This is the way for dissolving off. No, no, to dissolve. No, there is a comma here. Individuals, communities, and faiths. Please go to editorial words. What is the meaning of escalation? Escalation part of escalate is verb, escalation noun. Sudden increase. And this is a verb, obviously a regular verb. Moved means what? To cause to fall. It also means to cut grass. It goes with gardening. I know. SBI PO notification out. I wish you guys all the best. Start your preparation. And I cannot tell here, Naresh. Maybe some other day I will come up with a video how to deal with descriptive paper. What is the meaning here? H, it also means to cut. It goes with gardening. Deficit budget means what? Deficit adjective means what? Shortfall, not surplus, opposite of surplus. Headway, made headway, noun. Make progress. Yes, escalation of fuel prices, of course. Abeyance, an important word. It has been kept in abeyance. Meaning is, what is the meaning of that? Temporary suspension or temporary disuse. Answer is F. Repeal, it is a verb. It's a regular verb. Means what? Annul, revoke, repeal, annul. All these words you have to think of. I is the answer. Redress means what? It is also a verb. A remedy, find a solution. Yes. Procure, it's a regular verb. Procure, procured, procured. Means what? Obtain. If you go to a big company, you have a procurement officer. His job is to obtain the material. Answer is B. Prone takes a preposition to, prone to. So prone to, repeal, make a law no longer valid. To make something null and void. That is right. What is the answer? It can be a noun as well. Where is it? Likely to suffer from. Answer is D. Jolt, jolted means what? Push or shake abruptly, suddenly. It is a verb. It can be a noun. And what are you left with? G is the answer. Many of these words are easy, not that difficult. Vulnerable, you can also say vulnerable. Yes. That's all for today. And I think SBI PO, it is going to be in the month of November. Am I right? Have they given the date? I don't think so. Please answer my question. Have you got the date? SBI PO? Date has not been given. That's very good. All the 10 correct? Wonderful. Please answer my question. Have they given the date? SBI PO? No. November, December. So at the outset, try to focus on November. Try to focus on, not mention tentative November and mains December. Focus on reading comprehension skill and also vocab, and start writing the editorials in your own sentences. That will help in the descriptive paper. And do remember, when it comes to SBI PO, descriptive paper is very important. It makes or breaks your selection. And from now on, every day you write about the editorial in your own sentences, in brief. That will help in the long run. You will be able to write a good essay, an effective essay, and also a good letter. And do remember, descriptive paper makes or breaks your selection. Very important when it comes to SBI PO. From now on, you start writing about the editorials in your own sentences. That will definitely help a lot. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And do remember to subscribe and share and join the Telegram group. All that you have to do, click on the link. I'll provide the PDF after the session. Try to work on